How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to episode number 55 of the Figuring It Out Finance podcast, where I, Chris Rickenbaugh, am documenting my journey in real estate and business while also talking about travel hacking and personal finance. So, before I hop into today's episode on what quote it was that changed my thinking towards goal setting, go follow me on all the socials at Figuring It Out Finance on TikTok, on Instagram. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify and YouTube or Podbean, and you get to check out all of the episodes at figuringitoutfinance.com, where you can stay up to date on everything that I'm doing, and it has all the social handles and everything as well. So, hopping into today's episode, flip number 2 is getting rolling. So the last of the windows are getting started today, and then the roof got finished up as well. So things are rolling. Friday, heading out to Hawaii, which is going to be exciting, but not today's episode is not about all of that. It's about a quote that changed my thinking towards goal setting. So the quote is, if you know exactly what to do, you're not aiming high enough. So this quote comes from Do the Impossible by Jason Drees. So I'm going to be doing a full book breakdown on that. I'm halfway through it right now, so I might even do just like a halfway mark as I did for the last book. But he's just got so many good nuggets that just really challenge your thinking, and he's got a different way of looking at it with framing. So it's just I definitely recommend it for everybody, but I want to break down why this quote is so impactful to me, because if you know exactly what to do, you're not aiming high enough. And I listened to another podcast the other day to where they were talking about goal setting. So a lot of people say you're making $100,000. Your next goal is to make 105 or 110, and you know exactly what to do to be able to get there. So you know exactly what to do, so you're not aiming high enough. So what Jason in the book says is, and what this other podcast was talking about, you need to set that goal way out there, because what it's going to do is to be able to challenge your mind in thinking, what actions do I need to take to be able to hit this impossible goal? And then you're easily going to be able to pass that $100,000 mark. So what he said in the book was, aim for $500,000, for $500,000, and then that $100,000 seems like such a tiny goal, because you're going to be reaching way out there to get it. Because even if you don't hit the $500,000, you're probably way over the $110,000 that you were just planning on getting. So in real estate, this was another thing that when I was signing up for Deal Flow is because they were relating it to flips. So if you put yourself in the mindset to where you're only trying to do, like a couple of these people are only trying to do 2 or 3 flips, and it's like, yeah, that's good. And then, I went in with the goal set, I want to do 10. I want to get 10 deals done. And, they kind of look at you like, oh, yeah, right. But the reason I set that goal out there is because, hey, I might not hit that. I honestly should have aimed higher. 10 in the next 6 months, I think, honestly, that's a little bit low. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to force myself to think about, how am I going to get to that point? Because they have a chart that shows you, hey, you need to be doing this per week to be able to get this result. And then I think it comes out to like 0.4 houses bought per week. So I finished up the week and bought that first one that I'm going to be talking about soon, which is going to be an Airbnb. But back to the main part here is, you need to be able to push that goal a lot higher to be able to make your mind and force your mind to be able to get to that goal. Because even if you don't hit it, you're going to be well above where your original goal was. So, I could say I want to do 3 flips, and yeah, I might do 1 or 2. But, if I set or I'm going to do the things to be able to get to 2 or 3 flips. So if I set my goal out to do 15 to 20 flips, I'm going to be forcing myself to be able to get into that mindset to where I need to be doing different actions to be able to get those done. And that way, if my original goal was 2 or 3 and then I shift it to 15 to 20 and then I say I get 5 flips done, that way exceeds the 2 or 3. So a simple way of explaining or kind of a long way of explaining a simple thing here. So, but yeah, this quote had a huge impact on me. And then Jason, with his idea of framing, highly recommend the book. I'll be doing a book breakdown here pretty soon. But yeah, super short podcast today. You can check out all of the podcasts on figuringitoutfinance.com, YouTube, or Spotify. Go check it out. And I'll be back again on Wednesday with another episode. Thanks for tuning in. And this is Chris Rickenboss signing off for the Figuring It Out Finance podcast.